XENITES.
How's it going?
Hopefully it's going better for them than it has been for us in recording these things.
Oh my god. And take two.
Take two. So, we did have this recorded.
Yep.
All ready to go for you guys, and Liliana was pressing it together, and she realized that you could not hear the other half of the conversation, so I just sounded like I was nuts. And talking to an unseen force.
So yeah, we had some
technical difficulties.
Again.
I think part of that, though, is because we, when the kids are here, because, like, Kayla, our oldest, she loves Xena. Yeah. She loves Callisto, but she likes the show. Yeah. So, we tend to talk quieter, I think, when they're here. Yeah. So, she doesn't hear Trista drop the F-bomb every, other word.
And if she hears it, "Oh, what are you guys doing? What you doing?" You know, that's what she would be doing the whole time. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I think that's part of the problem is we try and stay quiet and we don't eat the mic. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. But anyways. So, take two. Take two. If you guys hadn't already guessed by our flightiness and our personable personalities, you're listening to the Babbling Bards podcast. A podcast made by XENITES.
For XENITES. I'm Trista.
I'm Liliana.
And we're your happy hosts.
Yes, today's episode, is there a doctor in the house?
No, there's not.
No?
Not at the present time. There's 2 cats and us. Uh-huh. There's a former cop.
Who had med training.
I did have medic training.
So there is a doctor in the house?
No. There's a former medic in the house that faints at the sight of blood.
Tell that to the kiddos. Anytime something's wrong, Trista, can you check my back? Trista, my hand hurts. Can you check it? Trista, yeah. Trista, my side hurts. What's wrong? Trista, I got this. What's wrong?
My stomach hurts. What's the matter? What did you eat?
But yeah.
That's half the battle. Half the battle. Anyway, so, is there a doctor in the house?
Uh-huh. Original air date, July 29th, 1996.
I'm still not 10 yet.
No, you're not. You're getting there.
I'm getting there. I'm
Almost.
Aging a little bit. This episode was Lucy Lawless's favorite. Yeah. It's her personal favorite out of the entire series. Mm-hmm. That and I think Warrior Princess Tramp?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the next one? Because she got to play Meg.
I think it was that one, yeah.
Yeah. She liked playing Meg.
Yeah.
But I love Megs.
Yeah.
You know. So, just like a quick synopsis, we've got Xena and Gabrielle. They're trying to get to Athens. Mm-hmm. So they decide, well, Gabrielle doesn't exactly want to cut across where Xena wants to cut across. She's like, well, isn't it safer if we go...
The southern route?
The southern route?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but it's faster to go this way. Mm-hmm. You know, and Gabrielle's like, there's a war going on.
Yeah, so they're in the middle of a civil war between the Matoans and Thessalians. Yeah. And they happen to come across one of our favorite characters.
Effenie! Who's knocked up.
Yeah.
She's, you know, she and Fantes have had a very loving relationship, apparently, because she is, how does the Bible say it? Great with child.
With child.
And I mean, boy, she great with child. Mm-hmm. Because it takes a special kind of uterus to have a centaur baby in it. I mean, I couldn't do that. Just the kicking alone would keep me up for a year. You know? But we come across Effenie and she's wounded.
Yeah. She's been laying in hideout for a couple of days.
Yeah. Well, she says she's not sure how many, at least a couple of days.
Yeah. She said, 2 to 3?
Yeah, she's like, probably 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
No. And we learned that Fantes was killed by a Matoan raiding party.
Yeah. We don't know exactly how he's killed until
later.
Till later. In the episode, but Gabrielle and Xena, of course, are, you know, well, they want to help Effenie, and they're like, hey, there's a Greek healing temple up there, up a little further. We'll take you there. Yeah. Then they, of course, get ambushed by Marmax.
No, they didn't get ambushed.
They didn't get ambushed. They ran upon him.
Xena went off.
I used the wrong choice of words. I know what
Xena went off to find somewhere to take them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that's when they came across the temple. But before that, Marmax was, I guess, giving his troops a pep talk or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then they all went off, and then he went after a Thessalian who happened to, come across them. And Xena knocks him off his horse, right?
Yeah.
Thessalian gives her, a little nod, like, hey, thanks. He takes off, and then
he does the big scaredy runaway?
Yeah. So while Marmax is knocked out, he gets stabbed by Xena. When I first saw that, I was all like, oh, she didn't just kill him, did she? No, she wouldn't do that.
She's Xena, of course she would.
But someone laying there defenseless, knocked out, she wouldn't.
I don't know.
Unless it was Callisto.
Unless it was Callisto. I was going to say, I think it would depend on who it was.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure she would do that if it was Velasca or Caesar.
Yeah.
Or Callisto.
Yeah.
So, she may have some limits, but she's not infallible.
No.
She's still human.
Yeah. So, then they come across the temple, and Marmax is kind of like, well, this is,
he starts flipping out.
Because it's a Thessalian temple.
I can't go in there. You can't take me in there. No. When they see that I'm a Matoan, they'll kill me. And
they see that he's a general. And so she strips him of his, his stuff that would identify him as a general.
Mm-hmm.
Tosses it aside. Oh, you just look like another wounded soldier to me.
So they take him to the temple of Asclepius.
Asclepius, yeah.
And Asclepius, in Greek mythology, for those of you guys that don't know or aren't familiar, is not actually a god at this point.
Uh-huh.
He's actually a demigod. He's a son of Apollo. But when Asclepius' mortal half died, he became full god. So, he's also, his symbol is the caduceus, which Liliana didn't know what it was. She really likes the word, though, I think.
Caduceus. It's just fun to say. Hey, yo, look at my caduceus.
I would not suggest going up on the street to anybody and saying that, ever. Do you know how quick I'd have to get in a fight over that if you said that to the wrong person?
They'd look at me like, what? I think they'd be more confused than anything.
I'd be all like, yeah?
Very good.
No,
yes.
It wasn't. It was terrible. But
now, what do you guys think?
No, that was bad.
Good war cry, bad war cry? Let us know.
That was really bad.
Nah.
Yeah. But my throat's also been bugging. Again. Trista's also been fighting not getting sick. Again. Yay, me. They were shaking walnuts down the road earlier when we were we got a new sofa and love seat set. I know that you guys probably don't care, but we were pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
We were going to pick it up this morning. It's Wednesday. We live in Central Valley, California.
Yeah.
So there's lots of agricultural crap around here, which plays hell with me. Because I'm allergic to everything. Everything. I have had 4 sinus surgeries because my sinuses are so bad. And I'm asthmatic on top of all of it. So we go by and they're shaking walnuts, trying to get them off the trees and get them all picked up off the ground and harvested so they can take them to the dryers and all this other stuff. And there's just this cloud of dust. Yeah. As we're going up the 198. And it was just, like, my nose automatically just plugged, and my throat that's been hurting for, like, a week already just started, like, closing up. I was like, ugh. So, yeah, the war cry was not what it usually is.
But it was pretty good.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Alrighty.
Back to Xena.
Okay, we're at the temple.
Yay!
Yeah?
Oh, no, we were talking about the caduceus.
Oh, yeah, caduceus. Go, take it away.
Caduceus. So the symbol for Asclepius is actually the single caduceus with one snake around it. However, because we all know that, like, there's symbols from old mythology stuff all around us.
Yeah, everywhere.
Everything from the Nike check mark to the post office symbol.
Starbucks logo.
And if it's not a symbol for it, it's named after one of the gods or goddesses or... something, you know. There's still ancient gods and goddess stuff all around us.
Most people don't even realize it.
Most people don't. They honestly don't. But the medical symbol, and we know Asclepius, god of medicine. Mm-hmm. His symbol, single caduceus with the one snake going up. Hermes' symbol, on the other hand, who had absolutely nothing to do with medicine.
Yeah.
His symbol was the caduceus with the two snakes entwining up. So somewhere within the way that the myths were brought over, Hermes' symbol has ended up on all the medical stuff.
They got jumbled up.
They got jumbled up along the way. See, the thing with Asclepius is if you took somebody that was sick up to the top of the hill that it was said that he resided at, he would go and he would put the caduceus over whomever was sick, and if the snake on the end bit the person and the person was healed, then it was meant for them to go on and live their life. If the snake bit them and they died, then, maybe not such a great person that you wanted to be around. But anyway, if a snake bit me, I would probably die of a heart attack.
Yeah?
And
they better hope it's a non-venomous snake.
I think I've told you before about the corchwhips.
Yeah.
We have...
That's crazy.
We had, when I lived there. In Georgia, there's these snakes that are called corchwhips. And you can take them by the tails, and if you snap them hard enough, their heads will pop off.
That's crazy.
We used to do that when I was little. It was like which I was raised, my family... Part of them, not my parents, but a portion of my family goes to Pentecostal snake handling churches. And they take like rattlesnakes and copperheads and everything into the church service.
That's crazy.
And it's very much so the same thing as if you're filled with the Spirit of God, these snakes aren't going to bite you.
That's crazy.
It's a snake. It's going to bite you. It doesn't care how holy you are. You're going to be holy by the time they done with you. You're going to have 2 puncture wounds in you. You know what I'm saying to you? But, I mean, I've been in church services and seen them, like, stick their heads in the snake boxes.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I'd be like, nope. Not for me.
I cannot with that.
No.
I just can't.
Right there with you. That's insane.
But, yeah. But corchwhips, if they had those in ancient Greece, they if they bite you, they don't kill you right off. It takes about 2 days, but the venom from the corchwhip shuts down every single internal organ one by one.
Jeez.
And once it starts with the first one, there's no reversal. So you're dead.
Yeah.
But they'd be all like, oh, praise Asclepius, and then the person just like go 86.
Right.
But anyway.
Wow. That's crazy. Glad we don't have those around here.
Me too. They're frightening. I don't like them. Anyway, I like them when their heads pop up. But you gotta get them when they're not paying attention.
Wow.
If you get them when they're paying attention, they'll just whip back around and...
Yeah.
So, we got in the temple. We got Galen, who's, as dumb as a bag of bricks.
He's the temple priest, right? Temple priest?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's like, I guess, praying over this wounded soldier, to Asclepius to heal him.
And then our trio of ladies pop in with Marmax.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And Xena's all, asking how she's doing. Ephanie's like, I'm not good. I'm tired. Right. And my soul feels like it's been sliced by a razor.
Yeah.
And Xena's like, she's trying to comfort her. Mm-hmm. And Gabrielle jumps in to try and comfort her, to tell her, oh, you're not alone. You're with friends and family.
Yeah.
And Ephanie's like, family?
Well, yeah, because, Gabrielle's a Amazon sister.
Mm-hmm. She is.
Yeah, and then she, tells her that herself and Xena will take care of her.
At that point, somebody was pointing out on one of the boards that I was researching on that it's not entirely clear if Gabrielle was stating that Xena was friend or family. Because on one of the subtext forums that I was looking at, because it's odd that she said friends and family.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, well, she obviously considers Xena and Gabrielle both family. Because, Gabrielle's her Amazon sister, and they're like, well, if she's considering Xena family too, then it would be because Xena was Gabrielle's consort. That's what the forum said. Now, I personally don't think anything was going on between Xena and Gabrielle at this point. I'm not saying they didn't flirt.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything more than friendship at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I thought it was funny that somebody put that out there. I was like, huh, well, I never thought about that. You know, because Amazon law, if Xena were in a relationship with Gabrielle, where they were joined together, more so than just, you know, screwing around, then it would make her adopted by the Amazons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, the Amazons obviously hold Xena in the early season in high regards because they want to give her an Amazon funeral.
Yeah.
In later episodes. So I don't know, because then again, later episodes, there's a little more happening than is happening here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
With a different Amazon tribe that are not too happy with her.
No, season 2. Same tribe. When Velasca's acting as queen, they want to give her an Amazon funeral.
Well, yeah, that one. That one, they yeah.
Yeah. But
later on.
Yeah, oh, shit.
The other tribe.
The one that has Oteri and Yakut.
Yeah. Those are not too happy with her.
They're the Northern Amazons, right?
I don't remember.
Aren't they Northern Amazons?
I think so. I don't remember.
I think they are. They're actually, well, we'll get into that when we
get there.
When we get there, but we actually have a fun little tidbit about that tribe. Right?
Okay, we do?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a fun tidbit.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I got it.
You get it?
Alright, yeah.
Good job.
I think. Okay, anyways.
So, we thought, what did we have in the... You'd asked a pretty pertinent question in the other one. The first take of the podcast.
Oh,
Liliana turns
I don't
around
know.
and she's like, why didn't Gabrielle ever go to the Amazon land of the dead?
Oh, yeah.
That's what we were talking about when we talked about Gabrielle saying, oh, I'm your sister Amazon.
Yeah.
Liliana turns and it totally caught me off guard.
Oh, yeah, that was like at the end of the podcast. I asked that.
Was it?
I think so. Because, Gabrielle, well, she died.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Oh, yeah.
And then,
that's
okay.
Right. Well, then we'll talk about it then.
Yeah.
When it makes more sense.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll talk about it then. So you
to
guys
be continued.
Will have to wait on Liliana's question that almost stumped me until I thought it through. I was like, okay, I got this. I know this one.
Okay.
Yay.
Alrighty.
So let's keep going.
Okay. So we got Galen praying to Asclepius.
Yes.
I got it.
Good job.
Had a problem with it on the first take.
Multiple times. What's it called? What's his name?
Asclepius. So, is this where the soldier with the arrow in the throat
comes in? Yeah, after they meet Hippocrates, who we also know, we study medicine, we get the Hippocratic Oath from, which means that, regardless of if you have money or have drug addiction or a sexual relationship they don't like or whatever, they still have to treat you to the best of their ability.
Right.
That's where we get the Hippocratic Oath from. And I think they actually did a good job in the writing portraying a character that genuinely seemed that way. That, regardless of who you are or what you've done, he's still going to give you the best care that he can,
Yeah.
Now, Galen, I'll point out early, because I think I pointed it out the last minute, but since we were already talking about Galen, Galen was actually a priest of Asclepius in history. Pretty famous and predominant one. And he was the very first person to use a cadaver to learn more about human anatomy. So he could learn what made people sick and what was the cause of death for people. He was the very first person that did an autopsy and the first person that studied human remains. So that's kind of cool that they threw him in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just a recycled name or if Rob Tappert actually did research and was like, hey, let's throw these guys in there.
Yeah.
So we meet Hippocrates when they bring in the wounded soldier.
Yeah.
And Hippocrates is telling the guy, well, we gotta move you, and the guy's hurting, and Xena's like, put him down!
Yeah, he can't be moved with a wound like this. And then Hippocrates is all, but it's...
He says he's gotta empower Galen. He said Asclepius, god of medicine, has to empower Galen with knowledge and drugs on the altar.
Yeah.
So we got him moving.
Yeah, and it's Galen's orders, so they have to do what Galen tells them to do.
Mm-hmm. And Galen's still preaching like a high... still praying
we beseech you, and we trust, to make this man, and then
Xena pops in with her Xena. She's all... The gods don't care if this man lives or dies.
Right.
And she tells him, I've spent a lot of time healing on the battlefield.
Uh-huh.
I think. That's what she says.
Yeah. And,
See, this is like double hard for me. Because I've studied all this crap 3 weeks ago. And then I finally got to pour all of it out into the podcast that we recorded. And now we're having to record again. And I'm like, oh my god.
But, yeah. And so, yeah, she goes on to say, that she's done healing and this and that. And then he's all like...
Well, she tells him, she's like, you could help them a lot more if you spent more time with them and less time with your god.
Right. And he was all like, am I supposed to believe some harlot knows more about healing than the priests of Asclepius? Yeah. So the answer is yes.
She was a harlot. That's Meg. He's got her mixed up with Meg already. Look at that.
And then this is where they bring in the other one with the
throat. Yeah.
With the arrow in his throat.
Yep. And they think that Xena's killing him because she goes to help the guy.
Right.
And they think she's killing him.
Yeah.
And
Galen was all like, go ahead if you want to kill Matoans with your ignorance. It doesn't matter. Just don't touch a Thessalian. Mm-hmm. And Marmax is actually the one that
says she's killing him.
You're killing him.
And she's like, shut up and concentrate. And she tells him, give me the read. And she does like an on-the-fly trick.
Tracheotomy. Yeah.
She's like, I've done this millions of times.
Yeah. Yeah. So they were all like amazed. Mm-hmm. And I think well,
she sends Hippocrates to get cobwebs from the statue.
Yeah.
Because they'll staunch the bleeding.
Yeah. Hippocrates, I think, was the most amazed out of all of them. Mm-hmm. Because he's just there, just fascinated by what she's doing, because he never seen that sort of healing before.
Then we got Democritus, which is the other young guy that's learning under Galen.
Yeah.
And Democritus, in history, was actually the one that proposed the atomic theory, which we'll talk about later, but that's actually the theory that Gabrielle proposed in the episode The Deliverer, I think, when she and Craftstar are talking.
But, I mean, they're all amazed and impressed by what she was doing, but Galen is not so impressed. What was it he said? It's an antiqued and impure form of healing, not of the gods.
Antiquated. It's antiquated.
Antiquated, not antiqued.
It's okay. I meant what you knew.
Yeah, okay. So, he's not having it.
No, he's trying to sully Xena's reputation before these guys get, in his frame of thinking, suckered into her ways of teaching.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then she tells, in the next scene, we've got her telling Gabrielle that she needs to change Marmax's bandages. Mm-hmm. And there's no love lost between Gabrielle and Marmax.
Yeah.
Because you can see that Gabrielle's not too keen on him in general.
Yeah.
And then she says, medicine's not my strong suit, which we find out later is a lie. Because Gabrielle's actually really skilled at healing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because we see that in quite a few episodes. Locked Up and Tied Down is the first one that comes to mind.
Right.
But we also have episodes where Xena says, hey, Gabrielle, these guys could use your healing hand.
Right.
Which is actually in the first Horde episode that we have, I believe. It's coming up.
They are. I know how much you love the Horde episodes.
Almost as much as you do.
Which is not very much.
I hate Daughter of Palmyra.
Yeah.
The first one I can handle. And even the Abyss, I can handle if it wasn't for Virgil whining like a stuck pig. Because, he just irks me. Like, I wanted him dead in the first episode.
Yeah.
Dear God. He's every bit as annoying as his father. Anyway, but, so...
She's bandaging up Marmax.
Uh-huh.
He asks her what she does. She tells him.
Well, she said medicine's not my strong suit to him, and he's like, well, what is?
What is? And then she tells him that, she's a bard. Tell me a story.
And she tells him the story of Artemis changing the great hunter into a deer. And Marmax, all he can see is, oh, that had to be terrible. She go from being the hunter to being the hunted.
Yeah.
And Gabrielle's like, no, it's actually the best thing that ever happened to him. Mm-hmm. Because he became a better king, wasn't it? He became a better king.
Yeah, afterwards. A better king, yeah. And a much happier man.
Because he learned the secret of life.
Mm-hmm. It's to find peace in yourself.
And to share it with the world.
Yeah.
Couldn't we all learn that? We all could have learned. There's so much ugly in the world right now. There's so much.
It's ridiculous.
And then there's Kevin Sorbo.
Anyway.
And then Scott Baio. I think it's the thing with washed up actors. I think once they get washed up, and Kid Rock, I think it's a thing that once a celebrity becomes washed up, they will do anything to get people talking about them.
Yeah. They
don't necessarily believe the crap that they're spewing out, but yeah, it's disheartening.
Yeah, it is. Didn't we have... Who do we have now?
Democritus, isn't it?
Democritus and...
Because he's calling for help, right? Isn't Democritus calling for help?
Yeah, they bring in two
guys, and one's worse off than the other one.
Right.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
This is where she uses the pig bladder.
Yeah, that's right.
And she tells Gabrielle she needs help.
Yeah.
And so Gabrielle's trying to tend to one of their wounds.
Yeah.
And
Xena's trying desperately to save this other one.
Yeah. She puts a reed in, and then she puts a pig's bladder on top of that to pump air in the lungs.
Yeah.
And Gabrielle needs help, so they switch off. Mm-hmm. And Gabrielle's trying to put air in the guy's lungs.
Right.
And when they swap, Xena's able to save one, but Gabrielle loses the other one.
Yeah.
In a nutshell. I mean, without going that crazy far in depth.
Yeah. Then we have Galen that comes in, like, oh, woman, what have you done to my temple? And he's pissed because she has a Matoan on the altar, and she's murdering our brave soldiers. So he's all like, oh, we need to stop her, we need to throw her out, and if she resists, kill her. But, yeah, I mean, the soldiers that, go to grab her, obviously she kicks their butts.
Because she's Xena. Xena the warrior princess.
But, yeah. Here she is trying to help and save them. Mm-hmm. But Galen's not having it.
And then she realizes before Gabrielle does that this guy's not going to come back. Because Gabrielle's still trying really hard to get him. She's pretty much begging him and pleading with him. Come on, breathe, 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 breathe.
Yeah.
And Xena's like, Gabrielle, stop.
Yeah.
Just let him go. And I thought it was a neat contrast with this scene, the way that Xena is so accepting of, he's not breathing, he's done.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Let him go.
Let him go. Well, she wasn't content to just let Gabrielle go.
No, she was not. Not at all.
But, she was very quick to be able to have that closure there. Just let him go. And Gabrielle can't understand. She's like, we tried so hard.
Mm-hmm. And then you got Galen again, I told you.
Only Asclepius can heal.
Only he can choose who lives or dies. And then, Xena's all, well, he lost too much blood.
She's like, it's as simple as that. And Galen, is kind of poking at her. He's like, well, you can't heal that, can you?
Yeah.
She's like, no, I can't.
No.
And, I mean, you see remorse in her face because she couldn't help him.
Yeah.
And then Gabrielle's beating herself up in the next scene because all she can see is, I really did try.
Yeah.
And Xena's like, it wasn't your fault. Death's part of the work.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to get used to it. Mm-hmm. Gabrielle says, I'll try and do whatever you need me to do.
Yep. Then we have, like, Marmax, telling Xena she shouldn't be here. Mm-hmm. Right?
Why would you bring her into a war zone?
Right.
Isn't that what he said? Why would you bring her into a war zone?
Yeah. She shouldn't be here. Why would you bring her into a war zone? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Xena's like, well, since when do you care? Pretty much,
Yeah.
And, what did he say back? He said that that's what he was fighting for. Right. Was so that the younger people could grow up in a better way.
Yeah.
Than what they have.
Yeah, he was fighting for the welfare of the younger people. So, just like Gabrielle.
Yeah. So that, which kind of clues us in on Marmax's character. He's not a heartless Matoan soldier, or Matoan general. He truly does have a cause and a purpose. It's not self-serving at all. He is truthfully doing it for the betterment of the world. Yeah. And Xena points out, so...
Well, she said, well, what about the Thessalians?
Yeah.
The young Thessalians. But didn't
he said something about how the Thessalians had tortured his people because they didn't agree with their religion?
Yeah, he said that the Thessalians tried to take away their right to worship their gods. And that they tortured their people so that they could submit to their religion.
So did they not worship the same deities then?
Well, according to what Marmax said, no.
Huh.
I don't know.
That's odd, especially in Greece.
Yeah.
It's really odd. I wonder if they had like the Protestants
I don't know.
Then too.
I don't know.
Like the one, because we obviously know that they have the belief of one God.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if it was the ones that believed in one God that were torturing and killing the ones that believed in many gods.
I don't know. But
so what's religion?
I was just like thinking, it doesn't sound any different than stuff that goes on nowadays where, a certain religious group, believes that everybody should believe like we do. That's bullshit. Believe in what you want to believe in. I mean, and don't, force your religion on somebody else and say, oh, what you do is not right. That's bullshit. That irritates me.
I grew up raised like that. So...
Yeah.
I get that. Which, now, I'm probably the most tolerant person you will ever meet.
Yeah.
Religion-wise, race-wise, sexuality-wise, whatever. I mean, I have a friend that's fully convinced that in real life, they're a dragon. Fully convinced.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Fully convinced. I also have one that's entirely convinced that they're an elf. Well, whatever works for you. All I give a crap about is if that person's happy.
Yeah.
Who the fuck am I to rain on their parade?
Right.
Right. You do what is best for you, honey, because life is too short, and that's all we can do is we can live our best life that we can.
Yeah.
And we can spread happies to everybody else.
Exactly.
I
Yep.
mean, it's too short to sit there and worry on stuff that doesn't even matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, who cares?
It's ridiculous. You believe what you want to believe and let everybody else believe what they want to believe.
It's like my parents are Christian. Liliana's mom is Catholic. I can tell you straight up, my parents would condemn her mother because they view Catholics as idol worshippers because of the Virgin Mary statues.
Yeah.
They don't jihad with Catholics. Well, Liliana and I are Wiccan. Paganists. We'll say paganists.
Pagan.
So, because you say Wiccan and everybody automatically thinks, oh, they're witches.
Right. Freak out. It's ridiculous.
Satan worshippers. No. Crack a book.
I honestly believe that, the Wiccan religion is, the more peaceful out of all of them. Because they are the ones that are most accepting to, everything,
Well, they don't teach, heaven and hell and the devil and all that crap,
Yeah. It's ridiculous. What?
I mean, I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I view it this way. Religion is so massive, and people are so massive. Amber Benson from Buffy the Vampire Slayer wrote a book called Death's Daughter. It's actually a series of books.
Should read it. It's really good.
Yeah. I actually tend to believe more so that way, because humanity is so massive. There are so many health issues. There's so many problems in the world. I honestly think that the gods and goddesses are run like a corporation. I think there's one big god in charge.
The head honcho.
The head honcho.
The CEO.
Your CEO, president, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that he's in charge of all these little minor gods and goddesses because there's no way
that one can do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he doesn't know what's going on. But, I mean, as far as I know, he may just be chilling in the upstairs and using this, like, Earth-shaped crystal ball and being like, hey, I wonder what they're up to at the Babbling Bards podcast today. Let's change the channel and look. You know? I mean, I don't know. But we are not designed to understand religion or supernatural beings. We're just not. The human mind may be complex, but it is too simplified to completely grasp religion.
Yeah.
And that's what I honestly think.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to stop preaching.
Okay.
Because I got a little I am very passionate about religion because I was raised so conservatively, and then I learned how to think for myself. So,
yeah.
I don't know. But we have mad respect for all of you guys, regardless of what you believe.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are a Bible thumper, you thump that Bible. That's good on you. I respect anybody that has enough balls to believe anything nowadays.
Right.
I do, you know. So, kudos to you. I don't care if you're Christian, Catholic, Muslim,
I could care
pagan,
less, too. Believe what you want to believe. Just don't try to force somebody else to believe what you believe.
That's right. Don't cram it down their throat. Nobody likes that, except porn stars. Anyway, so I had to lighten it up. It was getting heavy.
Okay.
God.
Alrighty.
Stay on topic, Liliana. Jeez.
Uh-huh. Throw me under the bus. Jeez. Throw me under the chariot. But anyway, so then Xena, I guess, tells Marmax how they passed through a Thessalian village on their way there.
And there was nothing left.
And that there was nothing left. And, Marmax was all like, well, it was a supply base for the army. It was necessary to neutralize it. And she's like, well, neutralize it? There was nothing left.
You destroyed it.
Yeah, there was, not man, nor woman, nor child.
Which strikes a chord with Xena, because even when Xena was big, bad, and ugly, she wouldn't kill women and children.
Yeah, and she tells them, well, who's the butcher now? And, what was his excuse? That, the soldiers got... No, it wasn't for this. No, that had to do with Fantes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I got them crossed here. Okay. Which I don't think he realized that his troops did that.
I doubt it. Because he was totally shocked when it came to Fantes.
Yeah. Then we have Gabrielle and Democritus. Because she was trying to, I guess, comfort one of the wounded.
Well, because he was impressed because she was talking to him in hushed tones and just really soothing. She was talking to him in just like a really soothing voice. And the guy settled down automatically.
Yeah.
And which, of course, Democritus is just impressed.
Yeah.
He's like, that was amazing. How you just eased his pain.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, it was just a salve. And he's like, no, it was your words and your smile, your voice.
Now, I'm going to point something out here.
Okay.
Because subtext is my thing. Because Liliana said so, and as Liliana goes, so goes my nation. But anyway, so I'm going to point out here that the consensus on the subtext board is obviously, since Xena died, right before Death Mask, that she and Gabrielle are getting closer to a romantic encounter. Because Democritus would so easily have been Gabrielle's flavor of the week for this episode, but there's not even a play at that.
No.
In this episode, Gabrielle's character is written very much with a different type of focus. They do a callback to one of her flavors of the week from a different episode, but
okay,
but we're not there yet.
But, no.
But she has no flavor of the week in this episode, and there's two perfectly eligible bachelors that she could have been all like, "Hey, I'm Gabrielle.
How you doing?
But she didn't.
No.
So,
and then we have the scene with with the guy that needs his leg hacked off.
And
and you have Galen here trying, oh, mighty Asclepius, we beseech you. And Xena's like, unless you cut off that leg, he's gonna die. And the soldier's just like, what? No.
Somebody says you can't take his leg off, it's cruel.
Yeah. Well, Hippocrates said that. Hippocrates. Mm-hmm. And then Galen's just like, can I just work in peace here?
Xena could have popped back and said, well, you can't just yank a baby out of a woman's vagina, but they do it. That's cruel.
Yeah. She goes on to explain that, I've seen this before on the battlefield. The color of his leg, the way it is disease. If you don't cut it off, it's just going to spread and he's going to die. You cut it off, he'll live. So, soldier guy, live or die.
Because from a medical standpoint.
Yeah.
Back in those days, it was actually just as likely that had they hacked it off, he could have contracted gangrene.
Yeah.
And then he would have died anyway.
Yeah. And she leaves the decision up to the soldier, and, he's like, okay, live or die. All right, do it. And then, she gets her sword and whoop.
Well, she tells him he won't feel anything because she's pressure pointed him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't feel anything. She's like, well, you'll be in shock more than you'll feel pain.
Right.
But you can't tell that by the way he screams like a little bitch baby.
Well, yeah, because he just watched his leg get hacked off. Now, this scene was actually trimmed a bit because...
This scene was trimmed a lot. Well, there was 60 seconds taken off of this scene, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is for a running sequence because the network wasn't going to put the episode as a whole on the air.
Yeah.
Because
this scene was supposed to be a lot more graphic than what it was.
It wasn't graphic. That was the problem, is it wasn't going to be graphic.
Yeah.
But Lucy Lawless and Rob Tapert and Eric Grundeman actually had to go and campaign to the network. They're like, look, everything happens off screen. You don't see any blood. You don't see any gore.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even see the leg laying there.
No.
And the network would only agree to it if they made that scene shorter.
Yeah.
Because it was the torturous buildup of the leg coming off. That's what... It wasn't the graphicness or anything, but they still considered it to be one of the goriest pieces of television at that point in time. And now, they can put The Walking Dead on the air and
right?
That's fine, but...
Yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah. And then we have this man who pulls Gabrielle aside, and he's freaking out because he can't find his son, that he's still outside somewhere. So Gabrielle, being Gabrielle, instead of, getting help, she decides to go out looking for him herself, which they're in the middle of a war zone is not a very smart idea.
But, albeit, even though they are, Gabrielle's put in situations with Xena where the fighting's almost as bad.
Mm-hmm.
And she's, like, a pretty skilled fighter, so she was probably like, oh, I'll run out, grab him, and get back. And if anybody comes across me,
Yeah.
I'll staff them. I'll just staff them,
Yeah. And so she goes off and does that, and then we have Effie and Marmax. So then this is where we find out what happened to Fantes.
Yeah.
And she goes, on to tell him that they were on their way to Athens because they're more accepting there.
They're more tolerant.
More tolerant, yeah. And
Athens is like LA.
Yeah. So
or San Francisco.
Yeah, so he asks her, well, what happened to your husband? He's all, well, he was killed by a Matoan party. Matoan war party. And so Marmax is all like, apologizing and everything and saying that, oh, well, they must have thought that he was fighting for the Thessalians. And that, his soldiers get a little too zealous in their desire for freedom. And she goes on to tell him, well, he was ripped apart by Matoan hunting dogs while your men watched and laughed. And he's like in total shock, like, no, that can't be right.
But it was.
Yeah. And she goes on to tell that, that she and Fantes were sworn enemies until, they learned forgiveness and all that. And from forgiveness, they learned love. And, yeah, Marmax is just like, well, you despise me for this, don't you? She says, oh, I don't despise you, but you got to think of the children. Is bloodshed all you want them to know? Mm-hmm. And he's just in total shock.
I mean, it's like the thing with Marmax, because we know from earlier that he is thinking of the younger generation. He is thinking of the children.
Yeah.
But Effie does make a point there when she says that.
Yeah.
When she says, you got to think of the children. Is bloodshed all you want them to know? And, I mean, that's essentially just saying, oh, so that's pretty much sending a message to the kids, hey, we want something, we just go to war, slaughter a bunch of people, and take whatever we want.
Right.
Because he may have been thinking about the children, but he wasn't thinking about the children, you know?
Yeah.
And then we have
Democritus. They're bringing Gabrielle in. She's on a stretcher, injured.
And Xena runs.
Yeah. And they bring her in and one of the soldiers. So I'm guessing that, that soldier was trying to attack her, and then she clunked him.
Yeah.
Wherever she did. And Marmax says that, well, if she had hit him
just a little bit
lower, yeah. And Xena's all like, well, she knew what she was doing, right?
And that's where Marmax finds out for the first time that Gabrielle is a fighter. She's not just an innocent little farm girl. I mean, she's still innocent at this point.
Yeah.
But he realizes that, hey, she is a fighter. Mm-hmm. But Xena tells him she lives by her own code. She decided not to kill.
Yeah.
So
code doesn't include killing.
Her code doesn't include killing.
And then he throws at her again, well, she shouldn't be in, a place like this. A girl like this shouldn't be brought into a war zone.
But we don't exactly know what happens to her either, though. Because she comes in with blood spattered on her face.
Yeah?
Which, and it's like splattered weird. So it's not hers.
Yeah.
It had to have been from somebody else.
Yeah.
She hasn't been shot. She's not shot with an arrow. That's a later episode.
Yeah. But isn't like Xena like stitching up her shoulder or something? I don't know. I don't remember now. I don't know. But then we have her calling for Effie. Because in Gabrielle's mind, she's gonna die. And
Effie's in labor.
Yeah.
She's not like flat on her back in labor yet. No. She's in labor.
Yeah. So Gabrielle, has the the feeling that, hey, I'm gonna die. So she calls Effie over to give her rite of caste. Which, Effie is not having that. So, no, I'm not taking it. You're not going to die. And she doesn't.
She doesn't take it.
No, she doesn't.
Gabrielle does die, but she doesn't take it. Which is a good thing she didn't, because technically, even though Gabrielle was only dead for like a minute, Effie still would have been the rightful queen of the Amazons.
Right.
Which she acted as one anyway.
Yeah. Okay. And then the soldiers must be getting closer, because then the temple just starts
shake,
rattle, and roll. And so they decide, okay, well, all the people that can move, we need to move them. Mm-hmm. And then you have Democritus with an older woman or younger, with a woman out, leading them out of the temple. He gets shot with an arrow, and and then Galen, which he's all like, oh, Asclepius will decide who lives or dies and this and that. But when it's one of his own
trainees,
trainees, he's freaking out. He's all like, please, he turns to Xena, please help him. Well, like, why don't you pray to Asclepius? I mean, that's what he's like teaching them, right?
Yeah.
When it's one of his own, he's all like, turns to Xena,
That's the same way with like a chunk of religious people. Until something goes wrong, they don't say a prayer.
No. It's ridiculous. Oh my god. But she tends to him. He passes out from the pain. Galen's like, oh my god, is he dead? No, he's just passed out from the pain. Right? Mm-hmm. And then, what else? troops get closer and they're like freaking out.
We have a little heart-to-heart between Xena and unconscious Gabrielle. Because she tells Gabrielle, she's like, if I had it do over again, we would have taken the southern route.
Yeah.
And she told her she's sorry. And then Marmax is like, well, she might pull through.
Yeah.
And Xena said, well, I shouldn't have brought her here. You were right.
Right. He's just like, well, we all make mistakes.
Mm-hmm. And then Xena is like, well, my pride may have killed my best friend.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Galen's freaking out because the temple is...
Shake, rattle, and rolling.
Shake, rattling, and rolling.
But that's because they have catapults.
They have catapults. Yes.
And Marmax says, well, we don't have catapults.
They're caught in between the crossfire of the Thessalians and the Matoans.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then doesn't Marmax try to help Effany to get out?
Mm-hmm.
And then this is when she really goes into labor and she can't move because, little baby centaur's coming.
Mm-hmm. It's a pony.
And Marmax is freaking out. He's all like yelling for Xena. And then this is where, wait. Oh, no. I was going to say where Xena, does the C-section.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does she invent the C-section?
I had a little tidbit about that because you asked if she invented the C-section.
The cesarean.
That is up in the air on if she invented it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first person that declared that it was okay to do a cesarean section to save a mother's life was Julius Caesar. So we know that Xena kicked around with Caesar.
Yeah.
She had a little hanky-panky with Caesar. That might have been pillow talk. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's unclear on if it's something that she actually learned from Caesar or from somebody in Rome.
Yeah.
Before she was, crucified on the beach and had her legs broken, or if she did just invent it on the fly. Because she invented CPR on the fly.
Yeah. So we don't know.
But yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Julius Caesar was the first person to be like, hey, okay, if it'll save the mother's life, go ahead and deliver the baby that way. Which they used to do it differently. In fact, Xena actually did the cesarean section wrong. If you look at the way she's cutting.
Yeah.
She cuts from hip to hip.
Yeah.
They used to cut vertical. And stretch that way.
Yeah.
But they stopped doing that in 1914, I think. And then they started doing from hip to hip.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Maybe they watched this episode of Xena and figured, hey.
Maybe. They'd be like, dude, this chick in ancient Greece had it a different way. Let's try it here.
So she, delivers little centaur baby. Oh, tell them about the umbilical cord.
Oh. Well, shit. Now I gotta remember. Oh, okay. I remember. All right. So the umbilical cord that Effany uses, Danielle Cormack actually reuses the same umbilical cord a couple of weeks later in a movie that she did called Topless Women Talk About Their Lives. She recycled the umbilical cord, y'all. But I was like, ooh. I mean, I know it's fake, but it's still just like,
yeah. Now, when they did this episode, she was actually pregnant, right?
She was pregnant. She wasn't that far along.
Yeah.
But she was pregnant when they did it. They wanted her. She had a baby bump.
Yeah.
But they wanted her in the episode. They didn't know how they wanted her in the episode. Mm-hmm. And then, Danielle Cormack shows up pregnant, and they're like, okay, we'll write it in.
Yeah. And they did.
And this episode with Gabrielle, on the table, essentially what Rob Tappert gave the writer was, okay, we've got a 4.5-day shoot. This is what I want. I want Gabrielle, or I want 4.5-day shoot, an emergency room type setting. I want to kill Gabrielle. And then he walked out. They were actually toying with the idea of not bringing Gabrielle back. But one of the reasons they did was because of the Xena and Gabrielle relationship that they'd started crafting in The Greater Good.
Uh-huh.
That was, one of the only reasons. So the writer didn't know whether she was going to bring her back or not. And Rob Tappert was like,
Just left it up to the writers.
Yeah, pretty much. If you want to bring her back, okay. If not, okay. So, We didn't even know if we were going to have Gabrielle for the second season.
Yeah.
And this episode wasn't even supposed to be the season finale.
No, The Greater Good was. Mm-hmm. Because,
Because Callisto was supposed to be the first episode of the second season.
Yeah, that would have been the cliffhanger of, oh my gosh, who did it? And then, yeah.
But one thing about Xena, though, aside from, like, the last season, which, just gutted everybody, it didn't leave on cliffhangers.
No.
Because any series that you watch today leaves on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Winona Earp, oh my Lanta, leaves on a cliffhanger. Like, everything you watch today does. Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
Well, Once Upon a Time's crap now. But your shows that are in the same vein leave you cliffhanging. Xena, right. I feel like they did really good at wrapping up the season because, in my opinion, that's gonna make me want to watch it more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I have an entire story arc and conclusion from season to season.
Yeah.
So, I like that.
Then we have Marmax's soldiers, busting in through the temple, and they're, like, ready to take it, and Marmax is all like, no, the war's over. It's done with. And they're all like, but we're so close to winning.
It's like both sides have already lost.
Yeah, both sides have already lost. It's over. No more. And he's like, well, that's an order, And then we have...
They go off with their tails between their legs.
They go off, and then we have Gabrielle convulsing. Mm-hmm. Is that the right word?
Yeah, convulsing. It's almost like she has a seizure.
Yeah.
But, and Marmax is like, what's happening? Xena's like, I don't know.
She doesn't know.
Because Xena, you can tell from the look on her face that she's never seen that before.
No. And then Gabrielle flatlines.
She goes limp.
She does, and then...
She goes limp, and we actually have a little oopsie right here. We have a couple of oopsies right here. We see Hippocrates tells Xena that Gabrielle's dead.
She's dead.
But Renee O'Connor's still breathing.
Yeah.
Because you can see her still breathing, and then not 2 seconds later, he's all like, she's dead.
Yeah. She's in a much better place.
And Xena's all, she's not dead.
She's not, I wouldn't let her.
Yeah.
And, yeah, she's just like, come on, Gabrielle, come on, breathe, And
this is the first time that we see Xena get just...
Emotional, and...
We see how much Gabrielle does mean to her.
Right.
And she loses it.
Yeah.
And it's somebody pointed out, they're like, well, this is like your greatest subtext in the entire show. They pointed out, they said something to the fact of, it's not sexual. Mm-hmm. It's not, oh, love of my life. It's exactly the fact that Xena admits, for the first and only time in the entire series, that she's scared.
Yeah.
And it's because she's losing Gabrielle.
Right.
They're like, that's the quintessential bit of subtext in the entire series.
Yeah.
It's because she was like, come on, you're scaring me. Wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Yeah, and she's like, don't you leave me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't leave me. And, Marmax is all like, well, she's gone. You gotta let her go.
Which echoed what Xena said earlier to Gabrielle.
Right.
And Xena was like, pretty much no. And then, Hippocrates says, let her go. She's in a much better place. And Xena's like, get out of my way!
Yeah, she's all, you don't know anything. And, yeah. And she's just like, don't you listen to him. Come on. I know you're in there. Just prove it. You can show him. Wake up and breathe.
She's like, wake up.
Yeah,
wake
she
up.
told her, you never ran from anything in your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So just come on and fight.
But she's just breaking down piece by piece.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire scene. And you can actually watch when she starts hitting Gabrielle on the chest.
Mm-hmm.
We got another oopsie. You remember what it was?
Yeah, so it was, like a gold bracelet that slipped out from underneath
the gauntlets.
The armband gauntlets?
The gauntlets.
Yeah.
You can see it slide down Lucy Lawless's wrist.
Yeah.
In this scene when she's started to
pound on her chest.
Renee O'Connor's chest.
Yeah.
And actually, this scene, the reaction that you get from Lucy Lawless is genuine surprise.
Yeah, is genuine.
Yeah. Because
she didn't know when she was going to pop up.
Because they were originally cueing Renee O'Connor on when to wake up, and then they told Renee O'Connor to take her own cue.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, but, don't wake up any earlier than this point.
Right.
Well, Lucy Lawless didn't know what that point was.
No.
So Lucy Lawless is there, and she's exhausted because, they've been working for 4.5 days straight. And she's smacking her on her chest.
Yeah.
And then Renee O'Connor finally opens her eyes, and Lucy Lawless is like,
finally!
Yay! And then she snatches her up. But that's not Xena. That's Lucy. So you guys keep an eye out on that, because you can see just the slightest bit of breaking character before Lucy does what they call rescues the scene. Which is where, something goes wrong or the fourth wall's broken. We'll actually talk about that a little bit in Ulysses. But she saves the scene because she's like, I gotta get back in character, hang on!
Yeah. And then you got Galen, who's like, you're Asclepius! You've come back to Earth!
Get up, Galen!
I'm not Asclepius, you should know that by now. And that it was Gabrielle that performed the miracle. And she looks at her, didn't ya?
And Gabrielle's just looking like,
yeah,
like you've about beat me to death and you have the audacity to ask me this?
Yeah. And then we have Marmax and Xena just saying their goodbyes, right? And then you got Hippocrates, who's this whole time has just been fascinated by what Xena's been doing. And then
he says he wants to convert the temple
into
a place to learn.
Right, and he said that he wrote down everything. He rocked out? He rocked out, yeah. He wrote down everything that she was doing, and that he wants, all future generations of healing to understand, all of that stuff. Right? He's all like, we must pass on your wisdom. And she's just like, I'm not that wise.
Yeah, and then we go to Democritus, who's obviously feeling better.
Right.
He wakes up Gabrielle, and he's like, look! And you see tiny, creepy centaur baby.
Yeah.
You can tell that it's a doll. And that doll is freaky, which I understand the need to use the doll and why they used the doll. But it just was creepy, dude.
And then Gabrielle turns to Democritus and like, hey, I'm an ant. You didn't catch that until this.
I didn't catch it until we rewatched.
Until we rewatched it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's the first time I've ever noticed Gabrielle say that.
So she's all happy that she's an ant to little centaur baby.
Yay! And little centaur baby's name?
Xenon.
Xenon.
Xenon?
Not Xenon.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Xenon.
Xenon's a chemical element.
Okay.
Xenon's Zephani's baby.
Xenon. Okay.
Named it after Xena.
Yeah.
Which is only fitting because, Gabrielle had the baby from Cradle of Hope named after her. It's only fair.
Oh, yeah. Gabriel. That's right. Gabriel. Yeah. And then we got closing scene with Xena and Gabrielle. Gabrielle's like, I wanted to thank you for saving my life again. And she tells her, well, it was your decision to come back. And then this is where she tells Xena about, I guess, when she crossed over, seeing...
the beautiful field with her Uncle Morose and Talus.
And Talus, which was from Death in Chains.
And this is this is the only time, aside from Perdiccas, that one of Gabrielle's previous crushes is brought up in the series.
It's mentioned, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then this is where I asked you about. So, if she crossed over to the Elysian Fields, and she's an Amazon, shouldn't she have gone to the, what's it called, the Amazon?
Amazon Land of the Dead?
Yeah, that.
Well, that was kind of a loaded question. Because it's like I told Liliana when I answered the first time. Technically, yes, Gabrielle should have gone to the Amazon Land of the Dead. However, that would depend on her relationship with Xena at that point in time. Because Amazons, if you pay attention to the Amazon villages, like if you look around in the episodes, which I'm sure there's girl-on-girl loving in the Amazon nation. I'm about 100% positive that there is. But they're committed to being Amazons. They're not committed to much else.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, my opinion, and going by, the Amazon laws and this and that, I would tend to say that it would depend on where her loyalties lied. If her loyalty lied with the Amazons, I would say, yeah, of course she'll go to the Amazon land of the dead. But because Gabrielle's loyalty was with Xena, I think that, well, it's like I say with you, as Liliana goes, so goes my nation.
Yeah.
Like with Gabrielle, as Xena goes, so goes her nation.
Right.
And Xena was Greek.
Yeah.
And she may not have liked the gods and the goddesses, but she believed in them. Mm-hmm. So she would have gone to either Elysian Fields or Tartarus or wherever.
Right.
And I think that's probably why Gabrielle did, because Gabrielle didn't really study the Amazon teachings. Mm-mm. And she didn't stay with the Amazons.
No.
She, it's like I told Liliana, and on top of that, if she and Xena were in a relationship, even at this point, which later episodes when we get to Adventures in Sin Trade and all that stuff, I'll talk a little more in depth on that, but, if they were involved in some way, it would actually bar her from crossing over into the Amazon land of the dead because Xena wiped out an entire Amazon village.
Right.
Which is, like, high treason to the Amazons. It actually bars her out of culture. So the only reason that she was able to go into Melosa's tribe was because she was welcomed there.
Right.
But Gabrielle, guilt by association. If oh crap, I'm trying so hard to remember how I explained it last time. But if they were involved, that's essentially a betrayal to the Amazon nation on Gabrielle's part.
Uh-huh. Right.
You're pretty much saying, okay, so you're gonna go and bang somebody that's killed a chunk of us. Great.
Yeah.
Way to be a queen. But at least my opinion and what I put together in my research and my noggin, and that's what makes sense to me. Just going off of the laws that they talk about in the series, that's not like even actual Amazon law,
right?
Which they do have those out and about. You just have to know where to look.
Yeah.
But yeah,
dig it up.
Dig it up. But that's why, because her heart was with Xena. Her heart was never with the Amazons.
Yeah.
Because she just accepted rite of caste out of obligation, and she didn't.
Well, she didn't know what she was doing.
Know what she was doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what played such a big chunk, because Gabrielle didn't really know what it was like to be an Amazon until much later. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like season 6, much later.
Yeah. And
But Gabrielle was always religiously searching as well, though.
Well, yeah.
She never really, at least we never see her up until one of the last couple of episodes decide who she truly is. Because she's first she's Greek, and then she's Greek Amazon, and then she goes in the path of Eli, and then, it's... Yeah. She doesn't have a pinned down set religion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
She's like us. She just believes, hey, just love people and be good to them, and you're okay.
Exactly. Then we have our disclaimer.
Ooh.
Go for it.
Being that war is hell, lots of people were harmed during the production of this motion picture. But since television is a dramatic medium of make-believe, all casualties removed their prosthetic makeup and went home unscathed. Are we so happy?
Yes.
We so happy.
Yes.
So, since this episode was about, primarily about Gabrielle.
Uh-huh.
Let's plug Renee O'Connor. You ready?
Okay.
Beyond the Farthest Star, starring Renee O'Connor.
Yep.
Is releasing on December 5th.
December 5th. Yeah.
It's in the pre-order stages right now.
You gotta put your pre-orders in.
Put your pre-orders in. It's all fine, well, and dandy to buy it on December 5th when it comes out, but they're actually in negotiations for digital streaming and digital downloads, and for that, they're going to want to see how many pre-orders that they get for the DVD. So the more pre-orders that we can kick out,
the better for them.
The better for the people that made it. It goes to support Renee O'Connor, and it's I will go ahead and set up the expectation for it. It is a faith-based film. Mm-hmm. But it's actually kind of well crafted, I think. You know, with the layout and all. But it's she caught a bunch of crap for Question of Faith.
Well, yeah.
Well, because the acting, but she did exactly like old school religious women would do. Oh, you know, if it's the Lord's will.
Well, yeah. I mean, she played it the way she was told to play it.
Yeah.
So, she got like some...
She got some scathing reviews, especially after Kevin Sorbo came back and said, "Oh, you should go see my friend Renee in this."
Yeah.
But that,
he posted that, and the comments on there, some of them were positive, some not so positive. You had some people that were like, "Oh, you know, if he's supporting this, then I'm not going to watch it," which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, and then you had other people, you know, regardless of whether he supports it or not, I'm going to watch it because of Renee.
Yeah.
I don't care what he says. Yeah. But then you got other people who are like, he supports it, I'm not going to support it. Yeah. Which is stupid. I mean,
it's like ridiculous. We tell the kiddos, you should never give somebody that much power over you to keep you from doing something that you want to do, to support somebody else that you do care about as a person or an actor. Because Renee O'Connor's not that way. I mean, she's not narrow-minded. She's very supporting of same-sex couples. Yeah. She's very supporting of all religions. She is religious. You know, she's Christian. Yeah. But she's not rub it in your face. You know, she's very down to earth about everything. Yeah. You know, so it's kind of... See, somebody like that I would support regardless of what type of film it was. Right. And as long as the film's not hammering all homosexuals are going to hell, you know, that... I wouldn't have an issue, or this group of people's going to hell, I don't have an issue with a faith-based film. In fact, I think it's good for the family to watch, because there's so much crap out there you can't let the kids watch. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So, I mean, there's freaking kids at the high school that our kids go to that watch Game of Thrones, you know, and...
I don't even watch that.
I don't watch it either. I detest Game of Thrones. And that's a different story. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I will sit on mine about that show. Yeah. But anyway, there's stuff that's not kid appropriate, and when it's a faith-based film, that's something you know that, hey, that's not gonna like dirty my child's mind, right? Or put crap out there that you can't take back. You know. So
but anyway. But yeah,
support Renee O'Connor.
Get your pre-orders in. Don't wait until it comes out. Yeah. Put your pre-orders in. You can get it on Amazon, Walmart,
or Best Buy.
And Best Buy. Yeah. So
and it's not expensive. It's like
it's under $10. Yeah. I think Walmart's like $9.44.
Yeah. I know it's like $9.50 on Amazon.com. Yeah. I bought 2 copies.
Yeah. And Amazon, it'll get delivered the day it's released.
If you have Prime.
If you have Prime,
Only if you have Amazon Prime. It's delivered the day that it's released. If you pre-order it through Walmart, it comes the day after.
Day after, a couple days after. Yeah. But yeah, get those pre-orders in. Don't wait. Help support your Amazon queen.
That's right! Power to the people! So anyway, that's all I got. You got anything else?
No.
No?
I got nothing else.
You got nothing else?
Other than, is there a Doctor in the House? It gets a shiny 5 chakram rating.
5 chakrams!
One of our favorites.
5 super chakrams.
5 super chakrams. 5 super shiny shamrocks.
Yay!
So, yeah. And then next up will be our wrap-up for Season 1. Our wrap-up, and we answer questions that we've received.
We got a few.
Yeah, so we'll do that, and
we got like 6 days till Halloween.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and announce that?
We could do it on the wrap-up.
Okay, we can do it on the wrap-up. So, there's something special coming for Halloween, but you'll have to tune into the wrap-up to know what it is.
Dun dun dun.
Per Liliana.
Ain't gonna make you wait.
She wears the pants in the family. I wear boxer shorts. Not really. I don't wear boxer shorts.
No.
I wear jeans.
But yeah.
And moon pie t-shirt.
So yeah, our wrap up is coming up next.
Yeah.
I guess that's it.
Overall of season 1.
Yep.
And season 2, when we go into it, we're gonna change things up a little bit. So hopefully you guys will stay tuned, still enjoy.
Yeah.
And peace out, XENITES.
Alrighty.
Be a force for good. Go do something good for somebody.
Yep. Have a good day, a good night, good evening, good everything.
A good Wednesday. That's really weird for me. I'm never off work on Wednesdays.
No.
So that's odd. Anyhow, have a kick-ass day, and we will see you guys on the wrap-up.
Yeah. Happy
chakrams. We won't see you, but we'll see you. We'll talk at you. We'll babble.
Yes.
We'll babble at you.
Yeah.
We need to see you about, doing a live podcast.
Okay.
It'll be bomb. Lillian will sit there and smile and blush the whole time. It'll be cute.
No. Anyways.
Yes, you will. Okay.
Alrighty, guys.
Peace out, guys.
Happy chakrams.
Happy chakrams!
Alright. Goodbye.
Bye.